Children, now let us start the science chapter, that is physics chapter, motion. In our daily life, we can observe that some objects are at rest and some objects are in motion. And you can give some examples of motion. So you know that birds fly, fish swim, blood flows through veins and arteries, and the vehicles like car, bus, etc. moves, and electron moves, atoms moves, molecules moves. You know about the motion of the electron, motion of the atoms, motion of the molecules in the object, and also movement of planets, stars, galaxies, etc. And also you know that air moves from one place to another place. That is the motion of air. And you can observe you can see the flying of birds, swimming of fish. And here you know that you can't see the flow of blood, but if there is any wound, you can see the flow of blood which is coming out. And next, movement of vehicles like car, bus, scooter, etc. you can observe in any time. And motion of electrons, atoms, molecules are invisible to us, but that is there. Movement of planets, stars, galaxies, you know that sunrise, sunset is because of the movement of the earth. And also seasonal changes, that is also movement of the earth, that is the revolution of the earth around the sun. And also you can't see the motion of the air, but motion of the air can be observed by the movement of the leaves, movement of the dust, and movement of the branches of trees, etc. And these are the motions that you can observe in our daily life. And you know that the objects like buildings, trees, etc. are at rest. You can't see the motion in that objects. So you can say that in nature some objects move and some objects are always at rest. And what is motion? Here you know that motion is a change of position of a body. And an object may appear to be moving for one person and stationary for some other. When you are in moving bus, the roadside trees appear to be moving backward. This is because with reference to you. Actually you are moving and the place of the or position of the roadside trees changes here, and you may feel that roadside trees appear to be moving backward. And the person or a person standing on the roadside observes that bus along with the passengers is moving. Bus along with the passenger is moving, that is with reference to him. And when you are sitting in the moving bus, as there is no change in the position of the other fellow passengers with reference to you, and you may observe that the passengers in the bus are at rest. Passengers to be at rest. This is with reference to you in the bus. So here for all passengers in moving bus, the roadside trees appears to be moving backward. And a person standing on the roadside observes that bus along with the passengers is moving, and passenger inside the bus sees his fellow passengers to be at rest. And with reference to him, as there is no change in the place of the passengers. And therefore you can say that motion is relative. And there are different types of motion because motion is complex. Here there are different types of motion: straight line motion, motion along the circular path, vibration, etc. Straight line motion is nothing but linear motion, that is motion along a straight line, and motion along circular path, that is circular motion, and vibration, it is here it is to and fro motion. To and promotion. In nature, there are uncontrollable motions like flooded river, tsunami, hurricane, etc. These uncontrollable motions causes destruction. But there are controllable motions which can be used for the service of human being. For example, you can use the flow of water to produce the electricity by hydroelectric generating power station. In India, there is large number of hydroelectric generating stations which produces the electricity by using the flow of water. This is one of the cheapest way of producing the electricity as we are using natural source of energy. We use some words to describe the motion. They are reference point, distance covered, displacement, speed, velocity, acceleration, etc. Together with that, we can use the word magnitude, direction also. These are some words to describe the motion. Now, what is reference point? We describe the location of object by specifying a reference point. That reference point is called origin. To describe the position of an object, we need to specify a reference point that is called origin. So what is origin? The point from which the motion of the object is to be observed is called origin. So to describe the motion of an object, always we have to take the reference point which is called as the origin. So let us discuss the reference point, displacement and distance covered with an example here. Here Raju and Raghu are classmates and they are also close friends. And here A is Raju's house and B is Raghu's house. Raju wants to meet Raghu. And here you know that the straight distance, the shortest distance between A and B, Raghu's house and Raju's house is AB. This is about, that is 600 meter. The straight distance is here 600 meter. The distance between A and B, that is the straight distance between A and B, the Raju's house and Raghu's house is 600 meter. Now here, if Raju wants to meet Raghu, he wants to go to Raghu's house and he must travel along this path. And here, first he should reach this point and he should take turn to that house, and totally he must travel a distance of 200 plus 800 meter, that is 1000 meter, means 1 kilometer. So here this is 1 kilometer is the distance traveled by the Raju to meet Raghu. But actually the shortest distance from this Raju's house to Raghu's house is only 600 meter. So this is called displacement. And this is called distance traveled. Here the distance traveled is 1000 meter, that is 1 kilometer, and the displacement is 600 meter. If Raju reaches Raghu's house, the displacement is 600 meter and the distance traveled is 1 kilometer. This is the difference between the distance traveled and displacement. Here, if Raju goes and reaches here about 500 meter, and because of some reason he comes back to his house, and then the displacement becomes 0. Displacement becomes 0 because here O is the, let us take the origin is Raju's house and that is the initial point, and B, that is the final point, and if he reaches Raghu's house, his displacement is 600 meter and the distance traveled is 1000 meter, that is 1 kilometer. If he travels 500 meter, because of some reason he comes back to his house, and then the distance traveled again becomes 500 plus 500, that is also 1 kilometer, 1000 meter, but the displacement becomes 0. Displacement becomes 0 because here initial point and final point coincides with each other, and the displacement becomes 0 because there is no any change in the position of Raju here. He is in his house only. Here he comes back to his house means there is no any change in the position of Raju, so the displacement is 0. Here we used the word distance travelled and displacement. So what is distance travelled? It is a total length of the path covered by a moving Raju, or it is a, generally we can say that the total length of the path covered by moving object is called distance travelled. So what is distance travelled? Total distance or total length, total distance or total length of the path covered by a moving object. Covered by a moving object is called distance travelled or distance travelled or distance. So what is displacement? Here you know that it is the shortest distance between the initial position and final position. Here A is the initial position, B is the final position. The shortest distance is 600 m, that is called the displacement. So what is displacement? The shortest distance between the initial and final position of the moving object is called the displacement of the object. So what is displacement? The shortest distance between the initial and final position of the moving object. So what is displacement? The shortest distance between the initial and final position of the moving object is called displacement. Here the difference is that in both the cases we are using the numerical value meter. Here the numerical value is called the magnitude. Numerical value is called the magnitude, and that magnitude of distance travelled is meter or kilometer, and magnitude of displacement is also meter or kilometer. So what is that magnitude? The numerical value of a physical quantity is called magnitude. Numerical value of a physical quantity is its magnitude. So here to say the distance travelled, we are using the units kilometer or meter. For the displacement also we are using the unit or magnitude meter or kilometer. But there is a difference here. Here you know that distance travelled is a scalar quantity and displacement is a vector quantity. So what is scalar quantity? Here we are using only magnitude to represent distance travelled. Here distance is a scalar quantity. It requires only magnitude for representation. And displacement is a vector quantity. Displacement is a vector quantity. It requires both magnitude and direction for representation. To represent distance travelled we use only magnitude, and to represent displacement we use both magnitude and direction. So displacement is a vector quantity, distance travelled is a scalar quantity. You know what is vector quantity and scalar quantity? Here the physical quantity which can be represented by only magnitude is called scalar quantity, and the physical quantity which must be represented by using both magnitude and direction is called vector quantity. So here distance traveled is a scalar quantity which can be represented by only using the magnitude, and displacement is a vector quantity which is represented by using both magnitude and direction. Displacement may be equal to or lesser than distance traveled, but it is not greater than distance traveled. It is not greater than distance traveled. So the ratio of displacement and distance is always less than or equals to 1. Now let us see the motion along a straight line. The simplest type of motion is the motion along a straight line. We shall first learn to describe this by an example. Consider the motion of an object moving along a straight line path. The object starts its journey from O, which is treated as its reference point. Object starts its journey from the point O, which is the initial point or which is the origin, and it passes through the point A and B to reach C. Here the distance of C from O is 100 km, and the distance of A is 30 km, and distance of B is 70 km. Object starts from O, that is the origin, and moves through the point A and B and reaches C. And again it comes back along the same path and reaches the point B. Then the displacement is here from O to B, that is 70 km, and the distance travelled is from O to C it is 100 km, and from C to B it is 10, 20, 30 plus 30 it is equals to 130 km. So see the point here, from O to B the displacement is 70 km, but the distance travelled from O to B is 130 km. That is, it reaches C by travelling a distance of 100 km, and it comes back along the same path to reach B. That is, it travels from C to B 30 km. So totally it becomes 130 km, and see the difference here. The distance travelled is 130 km, but the displacement is 70 km. And again it moves along the same path to reach the initial point O. Then the displacement becomes 0, because the initial point and final point coincides here, and the displacement becomes 0. In this way, you can consider that displacement may become 0, but the distance travelled becomes here. Again, O to C 100, C to O 100, that becomes 200 km. Distance travelled is 200 km, but the displacement becomes 0. Here it starts the journey from O and ends the journey from O only. So the initial point and the final points coincide with each other, and the displacement becomes 0. Displacement becomes 0. This is the difference between the distance travelled and the displacement.